Hey everyone, how are
What's
you all
good?
doing?
What's happening?
It has been a while since we made a video. I think the last time we made a video was what? July,
Last
August?
Christmas?
No. How are you guys doing? This has been some year. You guys know that my husband and I are both life insurance brokers. We got licensed in April of this year, 2022, and we started working in the insurance business around the end of July of this year. So it's been really great. We have learned so much. We've experienced a lot, and we want to basically just share with you how this journey has been going for us thus far, and just kind of tell you a little bit of the ins and outs for those of you that may be interested in becoming an insurance broker, getting into the industry. There are a lot of things that you will learn along the way, and some good, some bad, but it allows you to just really become better at what you're doing. But it's a blessing to be in this industry because it's a wonderful industry to be in, to be able to help people by providing life insurance.
And make a pretty good
Right.
amount of money, make a good living. We want to just share some things with you because there are do's and don'ts.
Right.
And through our experience thus far, I'll start it like this, Trina. I'll say, we suggest that once you study for the state exam, whatever state you're in, make sure while you're studying that you establish warm leads. Don't try to come into this industry because this, just off of, I got my license, now I want to make some money.
Right.
No, you want to make sure that while you're studying for the state exam, you begin to set up warm leads. And warm leads consist of or are dealing with people that you know or people that you've come in contact through people you know. And you're providing insurance for them, coverage, whether it's term life, whole life, universal, index universal life, or final expense, even ROP, return of premium, otherwise known as cashback offer, CBO. So you want to do these things, establish the warm leads that will get you into a beginning that's going to be super powerful for you. It's going to blow your mind because you're going to make so much money in a short period of time. And then your brokerage, is going to take off. It's just going to take off. And then you'll see the sky is no limit. There is no limit, actually.
Right.
And so I'll start like this. So the warm leads. So this is why we suggest the warm leads, because we came into the industry, and we will not be toxic in this video, but we came into this industry and things were not as though they seemed, right? We were told things didn't happen. We'll tell you this, whoever you're dealing with, whoever you're working with, you want to make sure that you have the proper training, right? When you first, your genesis into this industry, you want training. You want the proper training. You want to know the products. You want to know what an IUL is. You want to know what is it? Not mutual funds, but you want to know what the IUL is. You want to know which is an index universal life insurance policy. You want to know what whole life is. There's children's whole life, and then there's whole life for adults. You want to know what cash value is. The word I was thinking about was annuity. You want to know what an annuity is. You want to be able to compare what is term. Compare term with whole life with universal life with final expense with CBO, ROP. You want to do that. You want to be able to understand these products because it's going to make you a stronger agent or broker. When you begin to speak with people and you encounter these people that need help, need your assistance, how can you help someone if you're not informed, right? About the products that you're trying to provide these people with? So we strongly suggest that you connect with people that's going to give you the proper training, because it's very important to have strong training. And I'm talking about people that will oversee everything that you're doing, that will guide you, lead you into everything, that will even correct you, right? Just to help you understand, because I like to say it like this: knowledge. If you know something, that means nothing if you don't know what to do with the knowledge. So if you don't understand it, then you'll never display wisdom. Again, just because you might know something or know of something, if you don't understand it, then you will never display wisdom. So if we don't understand a product, then it's going to be kind of detrimental as far as helping an individual as we try to provide insurance for them.
Right.
So we suggest training. It's super big, and understanding the nuances of the industry, how the industry, how you win in the industry. You win in the industry by way of leads.
Right.
This industry is, man, the lead game is amplified. It's huge. It's big. So leads are very important. So understanding, okay, there are lead sources that are not good. We won't say any names, but there are lead sources out there that have lawsuits against them right now because their leads are just bad. They're really bad, and people are paying all this money for these leads. So you have to have great leadership, because then they guide you into getting the proper tools that's going to help you succeed. Right. What do you have to add to that?
What you just mentioned about leads, a lot of people have run into situations where they're purchasing leads that are constantly been recycled, that are being sold to other people as well. So you want to, again, like Martin said, make sure that you're, with a company that's actually selling you decent leads. A lot of people say all leads are trash, but to me, I don't
That's
believe that.
True.
I just don't.
It's not true.
Since we've been in the industry, from what we've experienced, I don't believe that.
We've experienced trashy leads.
Yeah, we have.
But we have experienced leads that are dead on.
Right.
I mean, when you call a person, they're not like, how'd you get my number? Get off my damn phone. Like,
that's another thing that we've experienced. So
oh my goodness.
What we experienced was
F-bombs, all kinds of stuff.
What we experienced with some of the leads that we've gotten, these people are like, how'd you get my number? Why are you calling me? And it's like, well, ma'am or sir, you requested information. I didn't
put me on the no call list.
Yeah, I mean, they're like cursing you out left and right. And imagine making all these phone calls over and over, different people, and you're constantly being cursed out. To me, where did these leads come from? Like, if you're getting that many people telling you, I didn't request this, I didn't request it. Okay, that's not right. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
To me, in my opinion, the best type of leads are direct mailer leads, because with those leads, the person is receiving the leads in the mail, because the company, let's say for example, Martin and I, we wanted to do direct mailers. Let's say we want to spend $1,000 on these mailers. They get sent out into whatever zip code that we want them to go into. They could be like final expense leads or mortgage protection leads, for example. And the person gets it in the mail, and this is something they're interested in. So what they do, they fill it out and they go mail it back to us. We get the lead. It normally takes between, I would say, like 3 to 4 weeks or so for those leads to come back to us. And then we can start following up with the customers that requested the information. That way they can't say, I didn't fill this out. We have the lead right here. And you don't get that when people, you may get a few people that say, hey, I didn't fill it out, but then you have to refresh their memory.
It's what it's called is you go through a confirming window. You begin to ask certain questions, and you can ask questions you can get confirmation without even telling them what the lead is.
Right.
So it's powerful.
Yeah. Those in my opinion are the best leads. What do you think?
Oh yeah. They're the best leads. Also, well, I don't know. Those are pretty strong.
Besides
those
warm leads.
No. Besides live transfers.
Oh, yes. Live transfers. Those are good.
Live transfers are incredible because...
But the only thing is that those are expensive. They can be very expensive.
You know, there's levels to everything.
Yeah.
You know, there's A leads,
Yeah.
A1 leads, there's C leads. There, you know, there are leads that, you know, are what, 20 cents, 50 cents.
50 cents.
There's all kinds of leads, you know, but I want the A1s. I don't want, because the A1 leads are like, they're new, they're fresh. They're not, what do you call it? Recycled.
Right.
They're not recycled. Like, somebody else had the lead a month ago and now it's in my hands. No, it's not that type of lead. So yeah, I love live transfers myself. I love the door mailers, but then I also love the live transfers. Those two types of leads are incredibly strong. You will win with those.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely get what you pay for with certain type of leads, but it's definitely worth it because you will make money off of those type of leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, we've been in this industry working since the end of July, and boy, for me, in the beginning, it was a little discouraging when you're starting out and you're just constantly getting these people, don't call me, they're hanging up on you, they're cursing you out. But then, you know, you kind of find your way through the industry, figuring out how to actually work your business. And then you start winning and you're able to start helping people. Yeah. And that's with any business. You can't expect to just start winning right out the gate. It doesn't work like that. You want to make sure that whatever company you're with, you want to make sure that the person that is training you, you're able to go to them whenever you have any type of questions, that they're accessible anytime you need them as much as possible, and that they're open and they're willing to help you. They're not just talking to you about, oh, this is, you know, giving you just all this positive feedback, but letting you know, hey, this is what really goes on in the industry. And to make sure that you're properly trained. Because the thing about this, you want to make sure that you understand the products that you're selling. Because when you're dealing with certain carriers, they may not all be the same. So you want to make sure that you truly understand each carrier and their products. And all the carriers, because we are licensed brokers, we're licensed to do business with lots of different carriers. Right. And, you know, it's our job to be able to help our customers, our clients, in finding them the best policy possible. So again, making sure that you understand those particular insurance carriers and their products.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'll add to this. I like something you said. It took me straight there to not only the positive, but the negative or the difficult or challenging. That's the word, the challenges. Yeah. Such as, you know, when you don't have good leads, sometimes you can seem forceful with what you're doing. Right. You know, I recall an individual telling me, no, you know, basically tell them what, that's not necessary. I believe when you have good leads, the lead will lead to you providing insurance for your client without being forceful, without being persuasive. Our job is to meet the need. So when we send out the mailers, they fill them out, they mail them back to us, and then we contact them when we speak with them, then it's all about us helping them with the correct product, like Trina said. Right. So it's not about me being forceful or persuasive or trying to talk you into something. No, it's that conversation is about, you know, building a rapport first. Right. That's the first thing you want to do with your client, is to build a rapport. You know, when I talk with people, if you heard my phone calls, you would say, man, Martin's been knowing them. That's how I talk. Right. It's like, it's not business. It's not about the sale. It's about, like, let me take care of you. Right. And that is really powerful when your client doesn't view you as a salesperson, but they view you as someone who actually cares about them and who is interested in giving them the best situation for they themselves and their family. Right. So One of the things that I brought that up because, trying to be persuasive, sometimes it gets you nowhere, because there are some people that know exactly what they want,
Right.
and you can't tell them nothing. Like I think you want to go with permanent insurance because term expires after the term, the life of the policy. Oh, well, no, I want the term. Okay. Then they'll bring up something like cash value. So does the term have cash value? No, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't mean it's a bad product, but it doesn't have cash value. Okay. Does it have interest? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You're talking about an IUL. So, you can speak to people and it appears as if they know exactly what they want. And so that's why I said it's not about being persuasive. It's about being informative.
Mm-hmm.
It's about informing your client and directing their steps properly without seeming as if you're forceful or trying to dictate or controlling with their decision making. That as agents and brokers, that's what we do. We don't sell insurance, we provide insurance.
Right.
And so I'm gonna tell you a story. This is kind of tough about this industry because you set out to help people, right?
Right.
You set out to help people, but some people, they're skeptical, and usually they're skeptical because they're not informed. They don't know what's going on. So Trina and I, we take our time and we discuss things with them so that they're clearly informed and they understand what they're about to get into, right? For whatever period of time, if it's 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30, whatever, permanent life until you're 100. I don't know, but we make sure that people know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, prime example, I'm helping this woman, and this was on a Thursday. So I called Friday just to speak with the woman, because I spent a long time in her home that Thursday talking with her. She already had life insurance, but she filled out the lead, mailed it back in. So I ended up calling her and going to meet her at her home. And I spent a lot of time with her. She had a bunch of instruments and mics and amplifiers, speakers, all this stuff in her crib. So I'm like, oh, wow, this is going to be easy, establishing a good rapport with her. So I go in there, we're talking, having a good time. And she said, after I got her a lower price than what she was paying, more coverage than what she had, she still said, let me think about it. And I said, okay, sure. Well, you have my number. Thanks for your time. And I leave. Well, I called Friday the next day just to check with her and, get an update, see how she's doing, see if she's thought about things and if she made up her mind of what she wants to do. And her daughter answered the phone and told me her mother passed away Friday at 1 p.m. And so I was just blown away. So, that's a tough moment in the industry that we're in, because we want to help people, but you can't make people do anything.
Right.
So you will encounter things like that, and don't get down, don't get discouraged because you experience something like that. We try to figure out, what did I do or what did I not do? When you're in someone's home and you don't leave with a signature, right? A signature on the application, that's a tough experience. I will say this: you should never leave a client's home once they let you in without them signing on the dotted line. That's just a tough experience. You can't make anyone do anything, but you want to figure out the best way to speak to people,
Right.
to encourage them to make that decision to, take care of themselves with the proper coverage, so that their families won't have to do GoFundMes and, fish fries and all this other stuff. Neighborhood, I don't know, neighborhood funds or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call them. So there are different experiences, man, that you will experience, chargebacks. Chargebacks, can appear to be negative, because a chargeback is when a client cancels the policy. The money that you received when you provided that coverage, that policy for them, that money has to be paid back to the carrier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what a chargeback is. So it's like, okay, that's tough.
Yeah.
Well, it's a part of the game. It's a part of the industry. So, you begin to, that's why as an upstart agent, broker, you don't want to, once you get paid, you don't want to just be spending and spending and spending. You want to become very strategic
Right.
with your finances, with your funds, because number one, you have to build your business. It takes finances to build your business, right? In order to mail out those door mailers, it takes money.
It takes money.
Right? So, this is a powerful industry to be in. There are no limits. There's no limitations. Trust me when I say it. So I just want to share that, we can't be persuasive. We have to be informative.
Right. I agree with everything you said. Everything, especially the part where you're talking about just not spending all your money when you get paid from selling the policies.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be smart with your money. For us, this wasn't anything new, because we're business owners. I'm actually a licensed esthetician, so I own a skincare salon. I work full time in my salon 3 days a week, and then I do insurance a couple of days a week. But my husband, he does music. He's a artist, a singer, writer, producer. So he does that, and then he also does the insurance. So we're used to being business owners, entrepreneurs, so we understand what it takes to be financially stable and to be able to work the business. And we understand that in order to make money, you have to spend money.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of people, they don't understand if they've never had a business before. So that's something some people have to really lock down and understand, that you don't just go out and start spending all your money when you get paid.
Can I interject on that?
Sure.
That's a powerful conceptual thinking. You have to spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's just entrepreneurship. Like it is what it is. I was told by someone who trained me, they shared some things with me, and one of the things that they said was, you can't hold on to money. You can't be afraid to let money go. Because if you let money go, you will not spend money to make money. So you can't, actually, the individual even took it further and said, most people that hold on to money are broke.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty tough,
Wow.
right? That's tough. But I agree. When you're free to just understand that concept, give, receive, give,
Right.
receive. Give, receive. It's the law of reciprocity. That seed that you plant, it becomes your harvest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So it is very important to understand that. It's imperative to understand that. It's a pivotal place of thinking. Like, no, I have to be positioned to give into my business so that my business can give back to me.
Right.
Right? And then you learn a system, put a system together. You have to have a system of doing things. It is what it is. You have to have a system of doing things. And
Right.
if you come into this industry, and this is for entrepreneurs, and you don't have the entrepreneurial mind,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like this, if you've worked a job, or if you're working a job, you have to spend time.
Right.
You have to spend time. I get up early in the morning, sometimes 5:30, sometimes 6, because I am licensed in over 10 states. So sometimes my work day starts, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're Pacific Standard Time. So, sometimes we're in Louisiana.
Right.
We have a client in Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
or Texas, Arizona. They're different time zones. So you got to get up. This morning, I had an appointment at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. So 9 a.m. Texas time, but 7 a.m. California time.
Right.
So, you have to establish a schedule, which should be a part of your system, and stick to it. Every day I'm up and at it. I don't wait, because the early bird gets the worm. You know what I'm saying? So you want to get going with your schedule, establish your schedule, stick with it, establish your system of doing things, stick with it,
Right.
Pay yourself, right? Spend and receive within your own business, and just make it happen. There are no limitations, like I said before. You can make $100,000 in a week. You can make $100,000 in a week. You can make $100,000 every week. It's up to you. You learn the system. You work the system. It'll work for you.
Right. And another thing I'd like to add, you had already mentioned about being licensed in more than just the state that you live in.
Mm-hmm.
Martin's licensed in 10 states.
Yes.
And I'm licensed in 8 states. So we're able to do business outside of California. And you want to be licensed in as many states as possible.
Yes.
I do plan on getting licensed in a few more states. But other than that, the sky's the limit. It's exciting to be in this industry just because we know the potential. We've seen it. We've made money being in this industry. And we enjoy helping people. It's rewarding to be able to help someone.
Right.
But you do come across situations to where you hear about, someone passing away unexpectedly.
Yeah, share the story about your client today.
So today, one of my clients, I called, he requested some information. So I followed up with him today. And unfortunately, his wife recently passed away. And he's so sad. He's still trying to process that he just lost his wife, and they didn't have any insurance. One of the things that we have been coming across, there's so many people that don't have life insurance. And I'm talking about, these are people that are in their 60s and 70s. Now, a lot of people don't like to talk about life insurance, and I don't understand why. We all have an expiration date. Mm-hmm. And when you plan properly, it makes you feel good knowing that, this is one less thing I have to worry about. I'm not going to be a burden to my family, knowing that if something happened to me, what are they going to do? And especially those of you that have homes that, you're paying a mortgage. If you have 2 people in that home and you need both of those incomes to pay the mortgage, and that person, one of the husband or wife passes away, will your lifestyle change? Will you be able to continue living in your home to sustain the life that you're used to living? And this is something that we've come across too. You recently spoke with a client. Mm-hmm. This was yesterday. What let them know what that conversation was like.
Okay, so I have a client that I'm still trying to help, and he's not even 50, and we thought he qualified for a substantial amount of coverage. And the carrier emailed me yesterday morning informing me that his application, they disqualified him from the coverage. And so I contacted him, and I shared with him, I said, I regret to inform you, but they disqualified you. You're not qualified for this coverage. And so he shared with me, even before I looked for a product for him, he shared with me his prescriptions. That's part of, my information getting a window. I inquire about prescriptions and conditions, all that stuff. Understand that once you give an agent or a broker your social security number, the MIB, the Medical Information Bureau, will have access to your RX status, and every prescription that you have ever taken or been prescribed. Let's say it like that, because there are some prescriptions that some physicians prescribe, but you've never taken it, but whatever. all of that information is available through your social security number. That's why we have what you call no exam, right? Policies.
Right.
And so, well, I'll say no exam applications, right? And so that was the situation. It was the situation. So the information came back. They didn't qualify him. So I called him today and I shared with him. And I said, don't worry about it. We're gonna look for some coverage for you, and we're gonna take care of you. So I said, man, again, I found a product for him, and I guess based upon his prescriptions, right? So I searched around. I was like, okay, this carrier is not going to accept him. This carrier is not going to accept him. It's a new drug. It's been around only for 5 years. It's supposed to be some type of reversal drug. And so for his condition, so I'm like, okay, that's a tough one, dealing with the heart. So I was like, okay. So I told him I have this carrier that's going to accept you, right? And it was for a much lesser amount. Oh my goodness. The previous app was for 1.6 million in coverage. This new coverage was only for 30 grand. So that lets you know how severe the condition is, right? So when you're viewed as a risk, then it's going to be difficult for you to qualify. And if you do qualify, it's going to be, what is it called? Modified, right? Your status will be, your risk classification will be modified, graded, not level. So that was the situation. So, we just try to help people understand, like, it's better for you to get insurance when you're younger.
Right.
When you're younger. I mean, I had a client earlier this week, and he got a term policy for his mortgage. He was 28. 28. He was 28 years old. So he gets the policy. He calls me the very next day. Well, he texts me. I'm sorry. He texted me the very next day and said, Martin, I apologize. Now, we had a great conversation. Oh, my God. My son's 27. He's 28. We had a great conversation. I was talking about, I said, man, you remind me of my son. You got your stuff together, man. I appreciate the conversation. It was really great. And then he called me the next day saying, Martin, I apologize, but I'm going to have to cancel the policy. Thank God it's still active. But I'm just like, I was thinking to myself, okay, so if anything happens, you take on a terminal illness, a chronic illness, or a critical illness, this face amount becomes available to you.
Because it has living benefits with that policy that he purchased.
Yes.
And it was a very inexpensive policy because of his age.
Because of his age.
What was it, like 30s?
No.
How much was it?
It was, I want to say it was 70 something, 78. It was like $78, but the coverage was crazy.
But that's still inexpensive.
If anything happened to the young man, his mortgage is covered.
Right.
And then any other expenses that he has covered.
And he has living benefits. So if he had some type of critical illness or anything, heart problems, cancer, anything like that, the benefits would be available to him now.
That face amount, that death benefit.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. That death benefit, accelerated death benefit.
Right.
That's what it's called. It becomes available to you, within 24 hours of a physician's report being in the hands of the insurance company. So it's imperative that people begin to listen, because we're just trying to help people understand, like, get it as soon as possible and as young as possible. Because like, let's say, for instance, you get your child a children's whole life policy, and at year 18, well, not at year 18, but when they turn 18, you can get more coverage, and you don't have to show proof of insurability. Right. And keep doing that, and you don't have to renew and stuff. Well, you have to renew, but you don't have to prove insurability. That's powerful.
Right.
That's just powerful, because, as we age, that's why the risk class changes, because there are adjustments to health. Most people eat this and that, drink this and that, and then they're causing damage, and then they have issues, and then they have prescriptions, and then premiums go up, and then face amount goes down, and it's like, oh man, I had when I was younger this great policy, and I was paying $20 a month. Okay, well, you're not 20.
Right.
You're not 20 no more. You're, let's say, 40. You're not going to pay 20 some dollars for $500,000 of coverage. You're not going to get that from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Even as a young child, you don't get that. The most is $50,000. There are carriers that will give the face amount of $50,000. The average for Children's Whole Life is like 30,000. I believe it's like 30,000. But there are some carriers that go up to 35. There are some carriers that go to 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's just something that needs to be understood. Get insurance early and as young as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think we are going to do a part 2 because we don't want to drag this portion of what we wanted to discuss too long. So I think we gave you as much information as we could think of as far as our experience, since we've been in this wonderful industry of being life insurance brokers. So we're going to come back with a part 2, and we're going to talk about the importance of having life insurance, why it's important, and why it's important to get it when you're young. Don't wait until you're older to get it. And so we're going to tell you some of the things that we've encountered with that. So we're going to come back with part 2. So stay tuned for that video.
And before we go, I want to share this with you also. When you're looking for coverage, when you're looking for life insurance, you want to make sure that your agent helps you to become informed.
Right.
If your agent doesn't spend time talking with you so that you understand the product that you're about to invest in, run. I'm sorry. Run, because there are people that are out there for a sale,
Mm-hmm.
right? They don't care about you. I'm sorry. Okay. We've come across people where
Right.
they had accidental death policies,
Mm-hmm.
right? They had
Yep.
accidental death policies, and they thought that they had whole life.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they had permanent insurance with cash value connected. No. Talk to the husband and wife team, and they were just blown away. Adamant about, it's not an accelerated, or not accelerated, but accidental death. So I look, and more than one client, I've done this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see your policies. Oh, I already have insurance. Okay, I would love to see your policies because I just want to make sure you're good, right? They show me the policies. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is an accidental death policy. You've been paying all these years, and the only way your beneficiaries will benefit from your death benefit is if you die due to an accident.
Right.
So again, before we leave, make sure when you talk with an agent that they inform you. Begin to ask question after question after question, or ask them this. Please elaborate. Break this down. Elaborate. What is whole life?
Mm-hmm.
Why should I get whole life and not term?
Right.
Why should I get term and not index universal life? Why should I get index universal life and not final expense? I mean, it's just, look, you can be in your 60s. It can be expensive to have a whole life policy, which that's what final expense is. It is whole life. It can be very expensive in your 60s, right? I'm just giving you an example. In your 60s, it can be very expensive. Get term. I'm just telling you, get term, because you will be able to get more face amount for the term of whatever amount of years that you want the coverage for, and less. Okay? So if you have questions about life insurance, you don't have to, you don't have to do business with us. But if you have questions and you want answers, let us know. Hit us
Right.
up. We will speak with you. We will take time and talk with you about the importance of life insurance,
Right.
why everybody needs life insurance. Not just, oh, GoFundMe. No, not just that.
Yeah.
There are financial benefits to having life insurance. My wife and I, we elaborated a little bit on the living benefits, the terminal, the chronic, the critical, we disability rider. If you get a policy, you need to make sure you do the waiver of premium. Something happens to you, you're no longer physically the same as you are today, tomorrow, right? Waiver of premium. You don't have to pay your premium for the life of the policy. But people don't do these things. They don't share these things like, no, make sure you add that to your policy. So we're here to help you. You got questions? Holla.
Contact us. So we're going to be back with part 2. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Peace.